The first step to meeting people that are considered by you good people, or people that you have thought about as the kind of people that you would like to acquaint yourself with. The first step to meeting this type of people would be to first get used to presenting yourself, your most original self, basically. Like your most authentic self, your best representation of who you really are. And what do I mean by that? I mean, as we go through life, we as humans have a tendency to put up a front with which we like to be seen as. And typically, this is what other people seem to identify as us. And get drawn to that image of us, create friendships with that image of us, and relationships. In that way, one or two persons in that union or friendship is bound to be disappointed because we're humans. And over time, our true selves are bound to come out, right? Time, they say, is the exposer of true intentions, personality. Because you 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 can't play another person's position, or you can't play an acting role for a long time. But what if we have been all through the years getting the wrong people in our lives because of the fact that we have not been showing our true selves on the outside, especially in the first few minutes, days, and maybe months, right? I mean, this has been the case when you step out of your house and you try to look good. You project something by the clothes that you wear, and the way you wear your hair, and the way you wear makeup, the way you walk, the way you talk, to project confidence and project that you are not going through a lot, to project that you got it, or to project that you need help, when you really don't, or to project that you know what you're doing, you know, to projections that we put on ourselves by virtue of professional development and education and career attainment. Like, you go to schools, you get a degree, but when you're told to introduce yourself, your degree's the first thing that you mentioned, or the second thing. How do you like to be introduced by somebody else? Like, hey, meet my friend. He's a doctor, right? Meet my friend. She's a lawyer. Where do you work? You know, um, what car do you drive? What does your car say about you that can be taken as your identity in the first few seconds and minutes and days that you meet somebody or a group of people? And how much of that identity formation is that person taken to make an impression of you and to make a decision if to be friends with you? You know, science and research have shown that people make decisions to be friends with people or even relationships in the first few moments of interaction with them. What if you're interacting with an image and not the real person? It means that you have made a decision based on a facade. But you, as the person fronting this image, you're bound to have disappointing relationships, disappointing friendships, because you got used to showing an image of yourself rather than showing your true self. What if we think about this differently? What if we decide that I don't want to project things that I don't want to project, except I want to project it, right? If you're not a sales guy, where your projection is going to be the thing that determines if a sale is being made. If you're not a professional at work setting where your projection of professionalism is going to be the determining factor of whether you get a deal that determines if you're going to get a paycheck tomorrow or not. You know, if you're not in some of those scenarios, what if we decide that, you know what, I want to, project an image of myself that is at least closer to who I really am, or what I could be, what what is closest to my personality, so that when somebody decides that they want to be with me, they're making a decision that's based on something that's more persistent, my personality, my character, something that they're going to see next year and in the next 5 years, 10 years, something more permanent. What if we decide that? What if? Even that is not as easy too, because to project a real image of yourself and to do it intuitively, to do it confidently, to do it with a level of comfortability that ensures that you keep doing it and it's not a forced process or painful process, um, or to look unoriginal when you do it. The first thing that you would have to do to project an image of yourself that's true reflection of yourself is to know yourself. To know yourself, you have to be comfortable with self-reflection. You have to be comfortable with looking at yourself in the mirror. You are different. I'm not saying you're good different or you're bad different, but yes, you are different. If you go to somewhere and try to commit a crime without gloves, you leave fingerprints, and the police comes and takes those and goes back to the lab. There's a one-to-one match. They can't find you because you are different. What if you embrace that difference and you're comfortable with being you so that when you introduce yourself, you're not introducing yourself as a doctor or a plumber, a chief scientist, or a C-suite, or a real estate investor, salesperson. You're comfortable with introducing yourself as you. You're comfortable with letting people know that you're different, and you're comfortable with people not liking you because you're a certain way, because you want to filter out the people that don't like you, so that the people that do, you can say with a high degree of confidence that this person likes you because you show them who you really are. How do you get to that level of comfortability? You have to be comfortable with self-reflection. You have to be able to first understand that there's a reason for our difference. It's for identification, right? And so when I meet people, and I remember I had an ex who asked me, it's like, why don't you introduce yourself with titles? You have a fancy title, you have a job where when you tell people what you do, it's as you say that with high pay, as I say that with high status, as I stated with like difference. Why don't you introduce yourself to people as that? And I thought about it. It's like, for some reason, I don't know, maybe it's just me reading through life because I read a lot of books, or just being very curious about, and I'm more curious about life than, getting material things. Just understanding people in general and wanting to be understood. I really just, when my first interactions, especially, I really just want to be there as myself. You know, like if I'm if I'm in a very social gathering where I don't think that I have to sell something, or that I particularly would get anything out of it, I want people to interact with me. I want I want I want people to just experience me. I want to experience other people. Like, I don't have to be exciting. I don't have to be funny. I don't have to be anything. I didn't choose to exist in this world. I have something to contribute, but the first thing I have to contribute is me. Like, you have to be okay with me around, right? So that's why I just I just want to come here as me and interact. And if I find somebody that resonates with me, I want them to be able to resonate with me, not some image that I'm trying to cast out to the world. What does your social media profile say about you? Does it, when I look at your profile on social media, does it say does it give identities, pseudo identities of yourself? It says medical doctor, lawyer, engineer. What does your social media profile say about you? When I look at your profile on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok, what are the first two lines say? It says engineer and doctor and architect, nurse, Scorpio, some Bible verse. What are you trying to project to the world? Does it align with who you are? Do you want people to be impressed by you, or do you want people to just know who you are, or do you want to be present there? When I look at your pictures, right, what are you trying to project? Like, and what exactly is the aim for your projection? Are you trying to show who you are, or are you trying to show something else that you want people to think that you are? Do you know that the way you curate your social media profiles and all those things can serve to push people away from you or attract people away from you? Do you know that when people reach out to you on your DMs or on your or some other way, that sometimes they're reaching out to something that they think that you are? You got to think about these things, right? Sometimes you wonder about, why am I meeting the wrong people? Why does it seem like, I have good intentions, but I'm always attracting people with bad intention? It could be your projection of your image that doesn't align with your personality. They probably think that you're cool with certain things because of how you project yourself. And then they find out much later, and much later, that you're not cool with them. But sometimes your image just kind of projects the opposite. Like evolution. Sometimes we have to evolve. And I personally think that some of the things that happens to us, that should happen to us as we get older, is we have to be comfortable with ourselves and show yourselves in the first few minutes of interaction. Social media is one of them. Get comfortable with random pictures of yourself. Like videos that just show what you would do, what you would say if somebody met you for 2 minutes and 2 seconds of your life. If you get used to that, you might actually chase a lot of crowd. You might not get as many likes and comments and DMs, but the people who remain and interact with you, those are the people who are most likely to be there because they have some sort of affinity to your type of person. Basically, you might find yourself attracting the kinds of people that you normally would be attracted to if you met them in real life. That's a good filter, I think. I think that a lot of people should start to think about that. Genuinely, sincerely. It can start from you. And this change can start from the change of how you project yourself. Align your self image to who you really are.